Hello, YouTube. I am your Prince of Alchemy, and we're doing another episode of Alchemist's Castle. And I see one person's over here. It's Andrew. How you doing, man? And they're gone at that point. No, YouTube says someone's watching. So. Anyway, I might as well. So why am I doing an episode? Why? What is there to talk about in the past year since the last episode? Well, I have been thinking about. Okay, so as anybody on Discord have seen, I have a article shared an article from Vice about PlayStation confirming PS6 and confirming release date and hardware rumors. They are aiming for a late 2027 to early 2028. And when I found out about this, it was like, there is no way they're coming out with a 10th generation system when this current gen hasn't even barely started. It's absolutely astounding to me that this generation just feels like a nothing burger while a 10th generation is just around the corner. It's fucking insane to me. Now, it's and if you all are going to ask me about, well, hey Prince, have you gotten any new systems yet? The answer to that question is no, I have not. And the reason behind it is pretty simple. It's a In the Switch 2's case, there isn't really much, games to go on. Also, the price tag for Switch 2 and its games are fucking crazy. Nintendo, what the hell are you on? Hopefully by the time next year or two, they'll probably just cut the price down so that people can actually make it affordable. And I'm like, good. That's what you get for pricing it at 450 instead of just like 400 or something. That is absolutely insane that you would just price that thing at that high when the Switch 1 at 300 at launch was perfectly serviceable. And of course, I'm not even going to dive into the patents or the lawsuits because, that would just make the stream longer than it is. And I'm trying to cut down on internet time by setting myself a curfew at 10 ish. So I decided to stream at 9, and hopefully by the time I'm done, I will just get off the internet by then. And anybody wants to ask me, what about the PlayStation 5? What about the Xbox Series S or X? I'm not really too sure on how high of a take this would be, but the PS5 and the Xbox Series have been on the market for 5 years, and there's nothing noteworthy about either of them. All right, I'm not going to say too much about the Xbox Series because Xbox has been irrelevant Xbox's brand has been irrelevant for the past decade. I mean, they stopped having exclusives, and now it's a paperweight. But apparently, Sony, and as a result, Sony's been selling a lot, but what do they have to show for it? They're just diving into live service games, and they have been 10 of 12 of which have been canceled. Let's see. They wasted money. They were willing to buy Bungie. They were willing to spend money on live service games and end up having to cancel them a few years down the line. But they're not willing to put out actual games. Granted, I know that there are games coming out like Wolverine and Intergalactic, but with the PS6 coming out in the next couple of years, what's the point? I mean, it's just too late at that point. This generation has barely started, and we're just about to come to an end real soon. It's fucking insane. And that's not to say that the PS5 has no games. It does, but the problem is that a large chunk of those games are either cross-gen, meaning that they're available on PS4 too, also available on other platforms, PC especially, or both. And I just kept thinking to myself, instead of putting out a portal, a PS5 portal, where you need a PS5 and Wi-Fi connection for it to function, instead of putting out another VR, and let's just be clear here, if people have been claiming that, VR is here and it never sticks around for long, what makes you think that this time would be any different? I don't know. Or coming out with a pro version that's $700, and Sony jacked up the price to it. Yeah, Nintendo and Microsoft have done the same. At least with Nintendo, it's just Switch 1. Microsoft decided, we're going to raise up our prices of the Xbox Series S and X, all versions, twice, and then jacked up the price of Games Pass. And I'm like, why is everyone in those companies? Who comes up with that shit, man? Who the fuck does that shit? Like, who? And the worst part about this is that a large portion of all the fan bases of all three either do not care or they just go out of their way to defend it for whatever reason. Those guys are practically the reason why I have considered quitting gaming after 8th generation. And honestly, if it wasn't for the Switch 1, I definitely would have. Yeah, I got my Switch in 2018, and it has been 7 years since. And before anybody wants to say, well, you can just buy the Steam Deck or buy the Steam Deck. And I'm not saying that the Steam Deck is a bad product. I don't really think it's getting as much hype as people have been doing. Because people have been hyping it up online, and that it doesn't match reality apparently because it only sold 4 million units in 3 years. I'm like, are you sure that it's worth the hype? Because the sales aren't that great right now. Granted, it's handheld PC, so it's a completely different market from the Switch, obviously. But then it boils down to why would I want to get a handheld PC when I can just gather parts and build a PC? It just makes sense. And if anybody asks, yes, I am definitely considering building a PC. I have cousins who are PC gamers and they've built it, and I called one of them up to help me find parts that are, parts that I could find for a good price because I have looked around on Amazon and eBay and I haven't had much luck there. And he told me, wait next month. Everything's going to be on sale throughout all of November, especially Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I'm like, okay, I can wait. That makes sense. Thanks for the advice, man. So, yes, I am taking PC building into consideration, and I've already comprised a list of games that I am considering getting once I get everything together, including future upgrades, because there's two of them that I need to upgrade for if I'm going down this road. And I have used Google and testing and PC Part Picker to just figure out, okay, this is exactly what I need. And yeah, it's like 700, 750, but the PS4 Pro is 750 right now. Or is 750 right now. So it isn't really that much different. At least with PC, I can at least have access to both PlayStation and Xbox. Which is strange because most of my Steam library, once I get Steam, it's just going to be a good chunk of them are going to be JRPGs and Halo Master Chief Collection and Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, and Doom Dark Ages. And of course, there's the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. I have heard that Rebirth story was not that good. I am getting 15. That much is clear to me. And yeah, it's strange. Okay, JRPGs used to be not available, or at least not a lot of them are available on PC, but now a large chunk of the huge hitters in JRPGs like Final Fantasy 15, Persona 3 Reload, games like that are on PC now. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, and since Steam offers some killer deals, it's like I might as once I get a PC built up and Steam, and get a Steam account, I will be getting those games. I will be waiting on those on the deals though. Hopefully, there won't be too much because hey, if there are so many good deals, you risk impulse buying, and I hate impulse buying because I try to be frugal with my money because I have my own place now, and as such, I am trying to save enough for utilities. And that was one of the factors as to why I canceled my PS Plus when I did. The other factor was Sony decided to jack up the price to $80. So, yeah, this generation has been an immense disappointment. I was waiting on Sony to do something to entice me to the PS4. I mean, PS5. And there's pretty much nothing. Yeah, there's Intergalactic, Wolverine, Astrobot, but I'm starting. There is an off chance that those games are going to come over to PC too. And yeah, I mean, Spider-Man 2 is already on there. God of War Ragnarok's already on there. Stellar Blade's already on there, and I'm planning on getting Stellar Blade once I get that together. And it actually feels great to play Master Chief Collection on a system Master Chief Collection without worrying about buying an irrelevant system for. So, yeah. Wow. I told myself this was not going to be a very long episode, and damn. It's like, we're almost 17 minutes in, and I think I've already said what I wanted to say. And there's no watchers here, so what are you going to do? So, yeah, this generation has been a complete disappointment. I am not really looking forward to the next generation. If this generation is anything to go by, I am taking PC gaming into consideration. As for Switch 2, I am considering it. Hopefully, by the time that I actually get around to doing it, they will drop the price. And even if they don't, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave seems like it would be a very interesting game because it's connected to Three Houses, and I love Three Houses as a game, so there's that. Anyway, this is your Prince of Alchemy, and this has been episode 4 of Alchemist's Castle. See you guys.